right now on Up with KREM.
It does say my client punched him in the face. Well, you know what? Sometimes during the course of duty, that has to happen to gain compliance.
A former Spokane County sergeant appeared in court for the first time. He's accused of beating a man so severely the jail wouldn't take him. This morning, we bring you the latest from the courtroom.
Calmer and cooler weather to end the week as we recap the damage and storm reports from yesterday's high wind and dust storms.
And we're out this morning tracking all of the debris that was left behind from a windstorm, checking in on power outages across the community.
Up with KREM begins now.
6 o'clock, right off the top, we're taking a live look. Take a look at this beautiful sunrise, but we're also showing you this because this is the calm after the storm. Yesterday, things got a little wild in the evening. It was super windy and dusty all across the inland northwest. Of course, we prepared you through our weather impact alert day yesterday. Thomas kept you informed before the storm hit and has a recap coming up.
Well, many of you actually sent us in photos of yesterday's storm. Take a look at some of these that we received, showing that large amount of dust that was blowing around in several sections of the inland northwest, especially in the North Idaho area. We got a lot of photos from our viewers out in North Idaho, just showing how massive that just cloud of dust was. So if you have any photos that you took maybe yesterday during the storm, you can text them to us still at 509-448-2000. In the meantime, though, we say good morning to you and thanks for joining us here on Up with KREM. I'm Channing Curtis.
And I'm Tim Pham. It is good to see you. Let's get over to Thomas now with a recap of what happened yesterday. Thomas, you prepared us all week for this, and you know, the dust, it was kind of wild. We hear of dust storms, you know, maybe in central Washington along I-90, but this was in the heart of downtown Spokane even.
Yeah, I think a lot of locations in eastern Washington experienced that dust storm impact from yesterday. We were anticipating those winds to be upwards of 50 miles per hour, but a couple thunderstorms just pushed it over the top, and that's why it ended up as severe as it was yesterday. It definitely overperformed the forecast. As you see, just a couple thunderstorms, enough to create all of those storm reports. Those are the icons that are popping up on the screen. Those are either wind damage reports, wind speed reports, or dust storm reports. And we even had severe thunderstorm warnings at times at around 4, 5, and 6 o'clock from yesterday. The highest wind speeds reported were out of the Palouse. Pullman and Moscow got near 70 mile per hour winds. Again, it was the thunderstorms that pushed those wind speeds over the top and into severe categories. And then it was those winds that picked up the dust and created those the dust storm environment that we had yesterday. So we'll continue to recap yesterday's severe weather, but note that today is going to be a lot calmer, but also a lot cooler.
Power companies are scrambling now to get the lights back on.
That's right. Of course, after yesterday's storm knocked out power all over our region. Taking a look at some of the numbers out of Idaho this morning, we're taking a look at Northern Lights outage map. Right now, over 12,000 of their customers are still without power at this time. Now, the company serves more than 23,000 people, so just to put that into perspective, about half of their customers are currently without power.
Meanwhile, let's take a look at Inland Power and Lights outage map. As you can see on your screen here, almost 5,000 customers are without power as of this hour. You could see it indicated there with the dots on the screen.
And then taking a look at Avista's power map, you can see nearly 2,000 of their customers are without power at this time. Last night, though, there were around 25,000 Avista customers without power. So luckily, power has been restored to about 23,000 people. We will keep you updated as these power companies work more to restore power all morning long.
And now we want to remind you, now is a good time to download the KREM 2 app. If you ever experience an outage, we'll be sure to let you know about it first through our KREM 2 app. You can sign up to get severe weather alerts there or check the forecast in your neighborhood so you know what to expect. We'll also send you our weather impact alerts if one is called by our meteorologists. So you can download the KREM 2 app. It is free in your phone's app store.
Now, as the cleanup from the storm continues, if you're heading out to work or even taking your kids to school this morning, you might notice some branches or pine needles all over the roads.
Yeah, KREM 2's Brandon T. Jones out live for us this morning, checking out what conditions look like. So Brandon, some cleanup happening all around town today. And last night, many people were left without power. So what are you seeing where you are?
Tim Channing, yeah, one of those areas that was impacted was right here behind me, Wellesley Avenue at the corner of North Alberta. The intersection, the lights just completely went out. So it turned into what typically was a light situation, traffic light situation, into a four-way intersection that was kind of like a stop sign. So you can see the lights are back on behind me, and Avista trucks are currently still on the scene, still working to repair and get some of those lights back on for the surrounding apartments and homes here in this area. So again, with more than 30,000 people left without power because of this wind and dust storm yesterday, this wasn't the only location that felt impact. So today, efforts to restore power across the region will continue. As for here in North Spokane, one person we spoke with described what she was dealing with last night.
Usually we don't lose power, maybe for an hour, hour and a half maybe, but now it's been out for hours.
Alrighty, so we're going to continue to track how many outages are around the region. As of this morning, around 4:30 or so, there was about 64 outages with 1,800 or so people impacted. I've got the statistics pulled up right here now on Vista, and now that number from 64 went down to 48 outages. So people are getting their power restored throughout the morning, and we'll continue to track those numbers. But for now, reporting live here in North Spokane, Brandon T. Jones, KREM 2 News.
Now, yesterday's storm's high winds fanned the flames of multiple brush fires across the region, including one on the South Hill in Spokane. This brush fire broke out on Southeast Boulevard near the Spokane Transit Park and Go. Crews say that there were even reports of a power line sparking against tree branches there. Spokane Fire says it did quickly spread due to strong winds and dry vegetation. But KREM 2 was actually out there, and we were able to catch the moment that some residents from some of those nearby homes can be seen stomping out the flames as the fire continued to spread. We spoke to some of them as firefighters began to arrive.
It moved fast. 1 second it was right here. We turned around to put this out, turn around, and it's over here on these trees. We were like, yeah, so whoa.
Now, as of this morning, the road is back open as fire crews continue cleaning up.
A wildfire burning near Danville is prompting level 2 and 3 evacuations. The Ferry County Sheriff's Office says level 3 go now evacuations are in effect for 4th of July Creek Road in that area. Level 2 get set evacuations are in places for areas east of Big Goosemas Road and west of Highway 21. The Sheriff's Office estimates the fire has burned at least 1,000 acres. WashDOT is opening a previously closed section of that highway to help with evacuations.
Just about 6:08, let's go ahead and take a look at some of today's other top stories this morning. Brian Koberger is expected to make his first appearance in an Ada County courtroom today. Koberger is accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students nearly 2 years ago. Now, the hearing will be a status conference to determine the next steps in the case, such as when to reschedule hearings that were in Latah County and to settle on a trial timeline. The new judge who's been assigned to the case will also determine whether he'll allow people to appear virtually.
And continuing coverage this morning, the former Spokane County sergeant accused of beating a man so severely the jail wouldn't take him faced a judge yesterday. Clay Hilton is charged with assaulting Kevin Hinton during an arrest for parking outside Spokane Valley's Terrace View Park after hours. He is also accused of intentionally disregarding Spokane Valley's code in trying to charge Hinton and misrepresenting the city's law in a sworn charging document and police report. Hilton's lawyers say this was a situation that got out of control, while the prosecuting attorney says the evidence is clearly stated.
It does say my client punched him in the face. Well, you know what? Sometimes during the course of duty, that has to happen to gain compliance.
Counsel might have his view of what happened. However, there is the affidavit by Sergeant Storment that clearly lays out in detail what happened here.
The state agreed Hilton will stay out of jail while the case proceeds. He's due back in court in 2 months to determine if both sides are ready for trial. That date is set for December 16.
And weather conditions today are going to be much calmer overall, as our weather conditions have certainly, the worst of it is behind us for sure. But it is much cooler thanks to yesterday's cold front, obviously. So these temperatures are now down into the upper 40s currently. We got 48 for that current temperature in Spokane as we are approaching sunrise, about a half hour away. Looks pretty calm, but notice that there is just a little bit of a leftover wind with a southwesterly breeze still at about 15 miles per hour. There's your current temperatures. Most areas in the 40s this morning compared to 60s, which is what it was yesterday morning. And we will end up quite a bit cooler overall today. But I still have at least one more day in the 80s upcoming in our much calmer forecast. So look for that coming up.
As you wake up and head out the door this morning, we're taking a live look at I-90 in Spokane Valley. You can see traffic volumes picking up at this hour, but right now, no major incidents on the roadways. We'll keep you updated here on Up with KREM if anything changes or slows you down on your morning commute.
Well, Tom's Turkey Drive is back. In the next 4 minutes, KREM 2's Laura Papetti joins us in studio to tell us everything you need to know.